This is Dan Dicks here reporting for Press for Truth, and I just wanted to make this quick video today, guys, to let you know that the narrative is now shifting. The powers that ought not be are now openly discussing the idea that these vaccine passports, this Vaxx Pass system, is going to now continue on forever. They're also openly discussing the idea that one day you will be forced to take part in this mandatory vaccination global inoculation program. So we're going to start with this one, guys, in case you haven't seen this yet. This is police officers going around in France checking the health pass of people at restaurants while they eat their meals. Can you imagine? I mean, this is like such Gestapo thuggish behavior. And yeah, we're at a time now when this is literally a part of the reality. You could be sitting at a restaurant and have the police hovering over your shoulder, demanding to see your papers to see that you got fully vaccinated so that you can eat in a restaurant. It's just absolutely mind-boggling that we're here so quickly, guys, so quickly. And now you have here the Prime Minister of New Zealand saying that there's not going to be an endpoint to this vaccination program. Here it is, right from one of the horse's mouths. Check it out.
So long as there's people who are eligible who haven't been vaccinated, we've got work to do. I don't think I'll ever be satisfied so long as there's someone who is eligible and hasn't been. And that's why I've said this, there's not going to be an endpoint to this vaccination program. Once we're rolling out boosters now, so we've got another wave of people that we need to make sure that we're protecting again. So those who were vaccinated 6 months ago, we really need them to come back, or we need to go to them.
Wow, never going to be an end to this thing. If you were gotten it 6 months ago, you're going to need to come back. There's going to be booster shots for life, as I've been saying all along, guys. It's like a source. It's like a passive income a subscription model on your immunity that the government has set up here. It's really quite brilliant, but it's also very, very diabolical. And this is perhaps why they're ramping up the propaganda. I mean, we see here, vaccination or nothing. 150 major German companies have launched into a social media offensive. Like Mercedes-Benz has swapped out its the best or nothing slogan for vaccination or nothing. It's just insane. More than 150 German companies, including some of the country's biggest on Tuesday, joined the social media movement to encourage residents to get vaccinated against COVID-19 by incorporating words like vaccination or vaccine into their advertising slogans. You got Germany's biggest chocolatiers, Ritter Sports, swapped its infamous Square Practical Good for Square Practical Vaccinated. Or supermarket giant Lidl saying little is worth it. Now it says vaccinations are worth it. Anyways, this shouldn't really be much of a surprise to anybody who's been following this channel for quite some time. I put this out way back at the very beginning. Look at this, April of 2020. COVID-19 is a carefully choreographed pandemic. And the government is the real virus, guys. So I'd encourage you to check that one out if you haven't, because now things are fast tracking into what I've been warning about all along. Now, we're seeing Canada is expanding its vaccine mandate to the banking and telecom sectors now. Isn't that convenient? They recently made it mandatory for federal regulated businesses. Well, that's going to be in early 22. They said they're going to expand the mandatory vaccination policy in early 22 to include all federally regulated workplaces, including banks and the largest telecom firms. They already required of all the federal public sector workers, but now we're going to be moving into the private sector, and we're going to be moving into the banking sector, into the telecom sector. And, again, we're seeing these incremental moves march us towards a time of forceful jabs. Ontario's already now talking about the fact that they're not going to wind down their vaccine passport system in January if the Omicron variant persists. Oh, no. Meanwhile, Alec Baldwin has killed more people than the Omicron variant at this point, ladies and gentlemen. So the fact that they're launching into this hysteria so quickly should be a sign that this really isn't about health. It's really all about control. This new variant is already proven to be not as bad as Delta, for example. The symptoms are fairly mild. It's like having a cold. And yet they're already making announcements for plans to change because of the new variant. And it's getting crazy, man. In New York, they're now requiring full vaccinations to access restaurants, gyms, and entertainment places. Even kids as young as 5 years old now have to be getting the shot if they want to go into a restaurant. So we're going to look at that, guys. We'll also look at this COVID Omicron. Time to consider mandatory jabs, says the EU chief. So we're going to look at all that today, guys, and much, much more.